Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting posted for today, September the 12th, 2017. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Commissioner Flores, Precinct 3, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. Please join in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another great day that you've given us, Lord. We just continue to pray for those that were affected by the latest hurricane, Lord. You, my Lord, just continue to be with Florida as they work to recuperate, be with the first responders, Lord. Give them the strength to do their best, Lord. Be with those families, the loved ones that they've lost, Lord. We continue to trust in you as you provide all that we need, Lord. Continue to be with this elected board that you've appointed, Lord. Give them your wisdom, your understanding, Lord, and continue to give them your peace, Lord, as they make these difficult decisions that affect us all, Lord. Provide your wisdom and understanding to myself, my staff, this great leadership, all the leadership of this great county that we serve, Lord. May we just continue to work as we're working for you, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Guerra, did anyone sign up under open forum?
We have one individual, Marta Sanchez. I will remind everybody in the audience, please respect the speaker's time at the podium.
Good morning.
3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there's 1 minute.
Good morning. My name is Marta Sanchez, and I'm here to represent Lupe and our compañeros of Arise to remind the commissioners and thanking for sending representatives to our event that we're going to take place on Thursday at 1 o'clock. I know that we already have confirmation from the two Pepes, and so Commissioner Joseph Palacios, thank you for sending you Pepe, and Commissioner Fuentes, thank you for sending you Pepe. So we still need to confirm with Joe Flores. Well, we have two Pepes now, so it's kind of a little confusing. So everybody, and we still need the Pepe from Commissioner Flores. So Commissioner Flores, we still hopefully you send Dr. Mona Parra there. It's not a Pepe, but still she's welcome. And so
we'll find a Pepe somewhere.
Please, and also. Judge, we hope that you find a Pepe too and send somebody because we would like to have a representative from everybody in this important meeting that we're going to have on Thursday. I think that we send the invitation to everybody, and we hope that all of you send some representation in there. We thank you so much for working with us, and we appreciate you considering this invitation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir, no concerns, Judge.
Need a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 5, discussion on the Del County Drainage District 1 project maintenance and operations. 5A, the Precinct 1 East lateral. This is a project, obviously, that's in the eastern part of our county. It's one of our north-south main laterals that will intercept a lot of the lateral drainage that comes from west to east, and we'll take it north to our north floodwater channel eventually, connect to our main drain, and then which ultimately connects to our north floodwater channel. So it's a big project for that area. It was scheduled for completion in August. I believe it was August 12th. Was the scheduled completion date. However, there was a request from the local farming community there because there is an irrigation line that's still pending to be adjusted, and at mile 15.5 North Road crossing. And because it's growing season, the Urban County received a letter from the farming community basically requesting that we delay the project another 30 days or so, 60 days, delay the project 60 days to be able to allow for the farming operations to continue. The construction was temporarily placed on hold for that period of time, and they should reinitiate this coming week. Is the time frame that was scheduled. On there was September 23rd was the scheduled date. So, or I guess next week. but they're anticipating the new completion date being October 10th is the new completion date for phases 1 and 3. Phase 2, which is the project that connects from our main drain all the way to 107, that's fully complete and operational. So by October 10th is the tentative date that they've set to complete the full project and get it all operational. And basically it connects our Mercedes lateral, which is in the 13.5 area, all the way north to our main drain, which is north of Monte Cristo. So it's a big project, big lateral ditch. So again, that's the new schedule. That's the new anticipated date of completion for that project. So I wanted to brief the board and the public on that. Item B, Precinct 4 JO8 drain. This is a project located in the western portion of the county over here, or the central part of the county. Basically starts over at Ware Road and runs east all the way to McCall, quarter-mile east of McCall, ties into our north main drain. And this project actually is allowed for the expansion of mile 17.5 road, which is interconnection from the Irrigation District Number 1 main canal, which is about a mile east of Ware Road, all the way to Ware Road. The 17.5 was non-existent at the time. It was a partnership that was put together with Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District, City of McAllen, and Precinct 4, and ourselves, which we did the design plans, part of the design plans for that project, and we construction managed it as well. The ditch was improved there to allow for that road to continue to have an outfall. But in the bigger picture also, we were able to improve from Hohen all the way to McCall and east of McCall into our main, the ditch itself that we acquired from Irrigation District Number 1 through an agreement to widen the system to make it easier to maintain, but at the same time it's created more volume in it, and it's the ultimate outfall for the Hohen project, which is one of the ones we're talking about right now, the Hohen Rural Drainage Development Project. That's a project also that's been completed as part of the Rural Drainage Development bond issuance that we had. We've invested $1.2 million in that area for regional drainage. Before, Hohen was one of the worst areas that would flood. It relied on a pump station. With the new improvements that we did to the JO8 and the improvements that were done with the rural drainage, installed a 54-inch line, so there's all gravity flow now. So we definitely have a much better system. Anytime we do gravity versus pump, it's more efficient, quicker to get the water out. So that's already fully completed, that project as well. So those two projects tie in together as well. And then the other project that we had also in there is the Hohen Sanitary Sewer Project, Precinct 4. That was a big project. We had a partnership with McAllen PUB, the Dallas County Precinct 4 in Urban County, and the Texas Department of Agriculture. All those entities came together and provided first-time sewer to Hohen subdivision. Because of the issues they've had in the past, they had cesspools or they had pit privies, and some of them didn't have septic tanks at all. It was a very bad situation, so Precinct 4 took the lead on that project, and we were fortunate that we were able to provide the entire design, sanitary sewer design and construction management for that project. So I'm happy to report that obviously that project has been fully completed. So that was completed back in February of this year. So now they have first-time sewer, and with the improvements that we've done, regional improvements, drainage improvements that we've done for that area, it's a much better area. And the last one is the Melba Carter Drain. This was a precinct, in Precinct 3, the City of Mission reached out to us for assistance with improvement of the Melba Carter Drain through an interlocal that we executed. We were able to participate with the City of Mission, and part of it was working inside our Mission Inlet area, and other part was north of it. And that project was completed in November 2016. So, we entered in partnerships with local communities. They provide design plans and funding for construction, and we also provide part funding for construction as well on this one. So, just wanted to report what we're doing in the area of drainage. If I may, item 6, approval and concurrence of plan for proposed roadway improvements from TxDOT-CSJ 0921-02-300 10th Street. Just a concurrence for us to sign off on the 10th Street project. It's a good project. It's about to be let in Precinct 4, so that's going to extend it all the way north from basically 107 north to Monte Cristo. I know Commissioner has been moving on this project.
Yeah, we have bids coming in on September 27th. We met with the state, and hopefully we'll have a groundbreaking either October or November, but hopefully we get the project started in 2018. So we're looking forward to it.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, requesting authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet, a legal notice, specifications, draft contract, etc., as attached here to for Dow County Drainage District Number 1 RFP, number ACDD 117049040, sale and removal of filled dirt, rainbow drain for North Main Drain Station 450 to FM 2812 County Road, Station 2250, including the re-advertisement of project. In the event bids are rejected or no bids are received and project is still required.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
We're just getting ready for the surplusing of our first segment of the Rainville Drain, which we should have the kickoff in October. And once we get that in place, we're going to invite everyone to come join us. It's one of our big regional projects that we're doing for the area. So I think right now tentatively is scheduled for October 6th, but once that date is firmed up, we'll be sending invites to everyone. Excuse me. Item 8, approval to issue manual payment in the amount of $229,600 to Dow County Irrigation District Number 2 pertaining to interlocal cooperation agreement by and between Dow County Drainage District Number 1 and Dow County Irrigation District Number 2 as it relates to Precinct 2, Minnesota and Cesar Chavez Area Drainage Improvement Project as approved by the Board on August 8, 2017.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And this would allow for that project to move forward with the rural drainage project, one of the ones that we have in Precinct 2 right now. So, item 9, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code 262-02484 for professional engineering services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, presentation of scoring grid of the firms evaluated and graded to the district's pool of pre-qualified professional engineers for the purpose of ranking by ACD Board of Directors in connection with the on-call professional engineering services for Dow County Drainage District Number 1 projects on an as-needed basis. B2Z Engineering with a score 94, International Consulting Engineers with a score 91, and Guzman Munoz Engineers Surveying Inc. a score of 89, which the board wished to rank as stated.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, pursuant to the board's approval, requesting authority for the Dow County Drainage District Number 1 to negotiate a professional engineering service agreement with the number 1 ranked firm, B2Z Engineering LLC, for the provision of on-call professional engineering services for Dow County Drainage District Number 1 projects on an as-needed basis.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 10, discussion Dow County Drainage District Number 1 budget for 2018 calendar year. Last week we just briefly talked about. Did you have those? They have? Okay. We briefly talked about. Excuse me one second. Briefly talked about our budget, kind of an overview, and what we've done is we've prepared a draft proposed budget with some itemized information on there. And we've got the table of contents kind of lays out what we have there. In page 1 is just the letter that we presented, basically summarizing all we have in our budget, or I guess the fund balances that we're going to be ending up with. We did increase principal interest for 2018 by $500,000 to pay for a refunding that we had for this coming year. So our projected fund balance is $17.5 million that we're projecting for the end of the year. So item 2, it talks about just the proposed tax rate, what we generate basically with our proposed tax rate. 1 cent generates about $3.3 million in revenue currently right now, and we have there the total that we have, the maintenance and operation, and then the interest and sinking fund. It just breaks it all down there as far as our collections, as far as our, as I mentioned, the estimated fund balance will be $17.5 million for the end of the year, and then we estimate about 14.5 at the end balance of 2018. And we'll go into the investments that we're doing as far as equipment and other stuff right now later on to kind of show that. But as you know, a lot of times this is taken into account that we fully utilize all our funding for the calendar year, but a lot of times we do not. Obviously, there's sweeps that we do over the year, so The fund balance usually we've seen in the past about a $1.5 to $2 million, increase from the projected ending balance of 2018. Usually similar to what the county sees a lot of times. You have a projected fund balance, but then a year usually goes up because you don't use all the services or you don't use, you have vacant positions, things of that nature. So
you had talked about in the audit report last week that there was some funding that changed or went away, but you were anticipating that some of that would be replaced with a new grant and some new monies. Does this account for those new monies?
the new monies, no, we haven't received.
The grant generally is recorded when we received it. That grant in particular we received in 2015. So whatever we budget for that grant just carries over into the years, and it's just budgeted until it ends.
And the new grant?
And of course, whenever we get our new grant, which is 4.5 that we talked about last month, we will come in and propose a budget for that grant.
So, I see that your fund balance is going from 17 to 14 and a half, or it's going down about $3 million. We'll plan.
What the decrease has to do with, and we tallied up at the end when we're projecting some purchase of new assets, equipment that we're going to be capitalizing. Like Raul mentioned, that we normally, whenever we budget, we have our budget, we don't spend the last penny. So it's common, like in the county, we do have additional. So this is just a projection. We need to look at it. I guess in reality, we're going to have another 1.2 million or so in that. Some of the other amounts that are going into our fund balance are for the administration of the building. We've had various expenditures that exceeded a little bit of what we had projected last year.
And that's what I was going to cover also in the investment of equipment that we're doing and so forth. That kind of points out. If we go to, I guess, page 3 has the general administration fund. And then page 4 and 5 is the maintenance and operation. And that's the maintenance and operation is really where the bulk of the investment is going. In general fund administration, there is a slight increase. A lot of it has to do with the office equipment, computer equipment, software, things of that nature, and some administrative costs that on positions that we've created. 120,000 has gone through salaries, but the bulk of the rest of the increase is for actual needs. What we've done is evaluated the current budget that we had in 2016 and what we're doing now to project 2018, and based those projections on the needs of the district as we're growing. The maintenance operation portion of it, that one, the bulk of the increase, we have the $600,000 in salaries. We have gasoline, $100,000, pipes, $181, drain ditch and structures, $438, heavy equipment. That's where the big bulk, $678,000 from last year. Shredders that we're looking at, another $350,000 from last year. Aid to other governments, another couple $100,000 there. So, we're balanced. We're looking at our budget, what we've done in the past, but we're also projecting what we're going to need to keep up what we're doing. The next, and I guess I keep preaching to the board and to the public that, we have right now 92 ongoing projects. 51 of those are bond projects, and 41 are maintenance and operation projects that we're doing. And we're going to continue to develop more projects, partnerships with the precincts and the cities and so forth to continue to improve our drainage systems. Even if we weren't creating new projects, just with the existing system and the maintenance and operation of it, we're expanding a lot of it. We're taking the approach that we're trying to facilitate maintenance of our system by creating a bench system that allows our shredders to go in instead of our long reach equipment and so forth, which is a little more cumbersome to manage and to do. So we're doing that throughout the whole district. We've been focused mainly on areas that we know we've had issues, but our long-term plan is to do it for the whole district itself. In some areas, we've doubled capacity from 70 to 100%. So that's a big improvement than before. So the next page talks about, well, 6 is just the tax rates that we had, what we posted. And then 7 talks about our tax rate. We've been maintaining basically the same tax rate since 2014 all the way through. If you look at that, it's been very steady for both for the interest and sinking fund, the maintenance and operation. So we've been very steady on that. And then since we're talking, I'm going to jump to 9 and then we'll go back to the positions. Talking about equipment, the need of equipment. We lay out a plan as what we need for the total heavy equipment that we're looking at doing and investing this year. This is actually active equipment that we're putting to projects. We're estimated about $1.6 million in that. We're looking at some slope mowers and converting some existing tractors to slope mowers and pull tractors, about another $710,000, and then we're looking at vehicles. About another $345,000 in vehicles, and then we have the administration building there as well. So again, with the growing needs of the district and the more, active approach that we've taken, there's a need for equipment, and that's what we're looking at, and that's one of the big differences that we have there in the maintenance and operation portion of it. Item 10 just talks about, page 10 talks about the increase that we've seen since 2014. We've increased in staff. Yes, we've definitely have hired more staff engineers, more inspectors, more maintenance and operation individuals. We're doing a lot more work. You can see that steadily everything has gone up from the structures, from pipe, from material, everything that we've done, because we're putting more pipe in the ground, we're doing more work to do that. So we're doing a lot more work, basically, at the district. And I just wanted to show, since 2014, how much we've been doing, and we're going to continue to do. And I'll just go back real quick to page 8 that talks about the positions. We have, what we're proposing this year was to reclassify some positions, and also looking at the needs of the district as we continue to grow, the actual creation of some positions. 2 positions have already been created this year, and then that will leave a net total of 8 more positions to create for next year. And we're hoping that the board will receive this positively, because we've got a lot of active projects ongoing, and I'm evaluating where we need the most support, and in this case, with engineers, with administrative assistants, with the welder positions, we're doing a lot more welding in-house. We're trying to do a lot more work in-house. So if you look at last year and the year before, the amount of work that we've outsourced has been a little bit less and less every time. We've got more mechanics. We're doing a lot more in-house work. So we're trying to continue that pattern of doing a lot more work in-house, not only design and construction, but also maintenance of our equipment and so forth. And the numbers are very justifiable right now. Our percentage is very low when it comes to staffing versus our operating budget. So we're still in a very good position. This general overview. So,
all right, sir.
Take it over.
And that's it. I do have a couple executive items, session items, sir.
All right. Well, before we do that, we're going to recess our Drainage District Board meeting and convene our regular meeting that was posted for today, September the 12th, 2017. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today to pray for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what's best for Hidalgo County. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. In your name we pray. Amen. And if we could remain standing, please. A moment of silence and remembrance of 9/11/2001. We will never forget the lives lost. We will never forget the emergency responders and countless volunteers. We will never forget the heroes of 9/11, people who rushed into harm's way to try and rescue those who were trapped, those who fought off the terrorists on United Flight 93 to avert another attack, and who died when the plane crashed in Pennsylvania. We will never forget how people came together in unity and support and in patriotism, the likes of which hadn't been seen since World War II. We will never forget the families whose loved ones were taken from them. And we will never forget the consequences, the soldiers wounded and killed in wars, the after effects of the toxic dust on responders, volunteers, and those in the surrounding area at the time of the attacks, and the new era of fear and distrust that followed. 16 years ago, the United States wasn't officially engaged in any wars. Few of us had ever heard of Al-Qaeda or Osama bin Laden, and ISIS didn't exist. The war on terror resulted in a dramatic change in our nation's attitudes and concerns about safety, vigilance, and privacy. The Patriot Act made national security and defense a priority, often at the expense of the civil liberties that are the foundations of our country. It's been 16 years since 9/11 changed the course of history and the skyline of New York City forever. But whether it's 16 years or 160 years, Americans will never forget. Thank you.
Please be seated. At this time, we're going to be recessing our Commissioners' Court meeting and reconvening our Drainage District meeting, and we're going to be proceeding to executive session. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. Pursuant to 551, 071, and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll be in an executive session for a short while. Raul?
Yes, sir. I apologize. Under real estate acquisition, pending potential litigation, real estate acquisition will proceed as directed, and pending potential litigation, no action.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. This time we're going to reconvene our regular meeting of our County Commissioners Court. Any concerns with the consent agenda?
No, sir. And for the record, Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from consent agenda item 9A. 9A.
So we need to pull 9A.
9A. Then we'll pull 9A.
Motion approved the rest of the consent agenda.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Motion approved 9A.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Chief, are we ready?
Sure.
We're going to have an update on Hidalgo County's response to Hurricane Harvey.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. In behalf of County Judge Ramon Garcia, our Emergency Management Director, he asked for a quick presentation and overview of what transpired during Hurricane Ida response outside our county with a bunch of our first responders, public works task forces, nurses task forces, and emergency responders. Here you'll see some photos of the water team, Texas Task Force 3 water team doing some rescues in high waters in the Fort Bend County and Katy area. There you'll see the Texas Task Force Search and Rescue Team in Galveston, Texas, evacuating a home health area. There they are getting ready to do the super sandbags with the Chinook helicopter pilots and crew members. There they are on the ground looking at the hookup for the super sandbags with the Chinook helicopter. Tomorrow they will be training with Black Hawk helicopters. Here's some damage that occurred in the coastal bend area. These are some of the photos that Commissioner Palacios and his staff took while they were up there. This is the incident management team that was up in Fort Bend County, Nacogdoches. They were tracking the Texas Park and Wildlife boat crews and shelter management.
How many individuals, county employees, were out there?
County employees, we had approximately about 50, to include the precinct workers and some of the fire marshals and emergency management staff. From Hidalgo County first responders, we had over 100. 90% of the first responders are from Hidalgo County that have contracts with the state to respond outside the area. As you can see there's the crew from Precinct 3 with the attachment of the McAllen team headed to the coastal bend. The shower trailer from the health department there, preparing to disembark to the event. There's the staging area, and that's the camp that they set up in Ingleside at the high school stadium parking lot. There are the crews getting a briefing in the morning, a debriefing in the evening, the staging area, getting ready to set up camp. That's Vice President Pence and his entourage of other flights, thanks to Precinct 4 photos. Here are the crews from the precinct doing the debris removal. Commissioner Palacios is getting a briefing from Jeff Johnston and Eddie. Here's some more of the Precinct 4 removal of the debris. The debris side where it's being taken and mulched to reduce the area, to keep it compacted. Here's some more crews, Commissioner Palacios and Roman Rodriguez, Director of Superintendent Operations, meeting with the public up there. These are the portable hospitals, one's in Orange County, the other one's at a municipal airport in Coastal Bend, and that's the team that set up those hospitals. This is the Westlaco emergency bus and some of their crews relocating some of the patients. Here's some of the photos of the team that came out in the New York Times of them at work in those areas. Some of the pictures of some of these guys hard at work, the medical team for the Westlaco Fire Department. Some of the addresses that they're still there. Some very good photos. There's the nurse crew that the team lead for the Hidalgo County Health that's supporting the Coastal Bend area in immunizations. There's the team of nurses that followed. That's a portable clinic in the Coastal Bend area where the nurses are assisting with some of those people needed. Here they're dropping off some vector control in some of those little drainage ditches from the health department. There's the sandbag operations in Precinct 4. As you can see the lines, there they are stacking up. The Precinct 4, all the precincts that work there in the different areas. There's Precinct 2's little giant that's making 20 sandbags at a time. And there's we're getting ready to, the county judge, she and us off taking more items to the site in Ingleside for those that were already deployed. Currently, the urban search and rescue team from our area is still in Galveston. They are practicing, or they're on standby in case they need to drop off the super sandbags, like we did, Commissioner, up there in Havana, where the water went under the railroad trestle. That's what they're there for. The sheriff's office is still on standby with sheriff's office, precinct constables in case they need to be deployed to the Houston area. They've been placed on notice. What I really do want to do is I want to thank each and every one of you all for the support that we gave to our neighbors up north in the Coastal Bend area, in the Houston area, and the Orange County area. Very much needed. Some of the stories that I heard from our first responders was tremendous, and you saw some of the faces in those pictures of the medical response teams. Again, Commissioner Palacios, your team, awesome. Did an excellent job. You three guys, the three commissioners, thank you for being on standby, because you guys were to follow to support Precinct 4's teams. I know we stood down yours, Commissioner Cantu, but they were ready to rock and roll. I know your team was ready, knocking at the door, working with Pepe. He was ready to get his people going. Mr. Guerra, thank you very much for your support and helping us coordinate everything between you and the judge to make this happen and everything that needed to be done to take care of our staff going up there.
Chief, if I may say, thank you for the service you've given us, for the leadership you gave all of us. It just seems like we get better as we hit each event as we go through, and it's amazing to see the leadership that you have, along with the help with Eddie Olivares here in the audience. But thank you for your leadership.
Well, thank you for supporting us to make this happen. The Rio Grande Valley has always banded together to support each other here locally with our municipal partners and then outside the valley. And thank you for your efforts, Commissioner Palacios, with your leadership with the South Texas judges and commissioners deal. And I know you were in constant communication with those individuals. They were giving you information. It was being fed down to us like that. We knew what we were looking for, Mr. Olivares, in preparing all of this. We have some resources in our county that you guys wouldn't believe. And within our own county precincts, we have resources that no others have. That's how come we can function and do what we do best. To include our partners in the law enforcement, the medical, the health, we can be self-sufficient because any help that we're going to get is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. We've done it before, and we will continue doing it with the support of each and every one of you all. And Judge, your leadership as the Director of Emergency Management, working with those mayors, will make this happen and continue making it happen. Thank you very much.
Chief, thank you. Under item 5B.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Julia Benitez Sullivan, Public Affairs. Item 5B, A1-61494 is consideration and approval of a proclamation declaring September as Valley Voter Awareness Month in Hidalgo County. And here to present it is our Elections Administrator, Yvonne Ramon. While she's coming up, I'll go ahead and finish reading this. Voting's a right as well as a responsibility and privilege, and all citizens are encouraged to exercise that right. That's on the agenda. Here you go, ma'am.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for this opportunity to let our community know that September is a very important month. And along with September being a very important month because it's Valley Voter Awareness Month, I want to take this opportunity to bring to the spotlight my staff in Voter Registration Department that makes this happen, and also for my GIS department. I hope that if y'all would come up also, the Advocacy Alliance Center of Texas with Mr. Morales and Mr. Garcia also have been very instrumental in our information that we bring across, as well as the numbers. Because every year, millions of Americans are discouraged from voting. Why? Because many lack the understanding of the actual voting process. So without a doubt, our greatest power that we have is the right to vote. So by increasing this voter participation, we can increase our area's influence in state and national politics. And with this strength in our voice as we come across together, we can make sure that the issues that matter to our Rio Grande Valley, to our community, to Hidalgo County are addressed, and we can secure funding and resources and ultimately improve the quality of life for all our community. So before introducing everyone, I'd like to give you some stats. We have now reached over 344,300 voters. I've started my 10th year here with Hidalgo County elections, and when I first started, our numbers were always between 150 and 180,000. And in almost 10 years, we have increased and have steadily continued to grow with reaching over 344,000 voters. That is the most that this county has ever had as far as registered voters. In giving you a little bit of information, I just want to also point out that through the Department of Public Safety, in 2012, applications that came through DPS were right under 7,900 applications, while the paper manual application was at 54,500. This year alone, through, in 2016, we processed over 52,600 paper applications, and through DPS, we processed over 34,200 applications. So you could see those numbers rising. This year, through August, we have already processed in paper 13,900 applications, through DPS 26,150 applications. So you can see that electronic process is also starting to surpass the paper. And it is because of the staff that you see behind me that we are able to do this. Commissioner Fuentes, because of this staff, those 16,280 voters that will be affected as we now have created a Constable 5, JP5, they have already processed them all. They're already in place, ready to vote correctly as the elections take place. We will be having a massive mail-out at the end of this year. Now, what does that mean? That means that voters will be obtaining the new voter registration card, which will now be in the yellow once again. So we will be sending all those new applications out, and everyone will be in place. So they also handle the training of all volunteer deputy registrars. We've got over 200 active volunteer deputy registrars that are able to go out into our community and register voters correctly, We also work with UTRGV, with the students there. We work with STC and the students there, and the work has no end. So before introducing each one of them, I would like to read part of the proclamation and then introduce them. Proclamation declaring September 2017 as Valley Voter Awareness Month. Whereas the framers of the Constitution established the United States as a representative democracy that relies on civic engagement, and whereas a fundamental element of effective democracy is the principle that all eligible citizens should participate in fair and open elections, and whereas in order to reach those who have not fully embraced their rights and responsibilities as citizens, the community must expand opportunities for voter education and nonpartisan voter registration. Vital contributions in this regard can be made by grassroots organizations, by the media, by educational, cultural, and religious institutions, and by other entities in both the public and private sector. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby proclaims September 2017 as Valley Voter Awareness Month in Hidalgo County and encourages all citizens to exercise their right to vote and to promote participation in the electoral process to their friends, families, and neighbors in local, state, and national elections. Dated this 12th day of September 2017.
For approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Now, I would like to call up Belinda Sagredo and Albert Morales and Carlos Martinez and introduce them first, as Belinda Sagredo will be with this county 30 years this coming February. She is the only member of the elections department that was there when the department was created. And she is still with Hidalgo County Elections, and we're very proud to call her our voter registrar manager. And we've got Albert Morales, and I'm sure Albert's going to say a few words. You know him well. And Carlos Martinez with ACT. And they are truly a partner that has helped us to make sure that this number that you see before you today continues to grow. So I would like for Belinda to call out the members of her staff so that we can shed the spotlight on them as they so well deserve.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Let me go ahead and introduce our voter registration staff. We do start with Ileana Espiritu, Kathy Longoria, Cindy Lopez, Yesenia Monsivais, Jenny Renteria, Rudy Zamora, Luis Escobar, and Natalie Alejo, and Josh Martinez. These are my VR staff, and we also have two individuals also that help out our department a lot, which is our GIS department. Without them, I mean, they make everything easier for us when we are looking for that one address that we can't find. So this is our staff.
And Brenda Renteria is my GIS supervisor, and of course, many of you know her because you see her in your offices. Come up here, Brenda. She works so hard at making sure that the boundary lines are moved correctly, that annexations are moved correctly, and that the voters are placed correctly. So when that voter goes to select their ballot, that ballot is correctly selected. And Brenda Renteria has so much to do with that process, along with members of her staff. If you would introduce them, Brenda.
Two of the people that always help me out a lot is Mr. Jose Martinez as well as Ms. Kathy Longoria. And anytime we have any issues with boundaries or any annexations, they're the ones up front first.
Mr. Albert Morales.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge, thank you for having us here. I just want to briefly give a quick background on Valley Voter Awareness Month. Valley Voter Awareness Month began after the 84th Texas Legislature passed a 10-year resolution proposed by Act to designate September as a month to raise awareness in the Rio Grande Valley. It's about celebrating democracy by creating efforts to educate about the importance of voting, engage people to register, and also empower them to participate in every election. In commemoration of Valley Voter Awareness Month, ACT has organized a field, digital, and media campaign that will help remove the barriers of voting in our communities and counter low voter turnout trends. Commissioners, thank you for supporting our initiative and also for considering this proclamation. I also want to introduce Carlos Martinez. He is the other ACT representative, and together we service the Valley in getting people registered, also in educating people about the importance of voting and increasing voter participation rates.
Well, Yvonne, thank you for the very good work that you and your staff do for our county.
Thank you, Judge. And in fact, my staff is so prepared that they just registered 2 people right now in the audience. And so they came prepared with voter registration applications. And that just goes to show what kind of staff I have. So dedicated, so hardworking, and so loyal. So thank you to the commissioners for your support. And we'd love to take a picture with you all if you don't mind.
No, we adopted it.
Okay.
Right?
Let's go ahead.
We did.
Hilda, do you think you could help me? Let's move this out of the way. Oh, thank you. It's so much easier with 2 people. Okay, thank you. That's good.
Can you switch places with the because I can't see here. Thank you. Everybody's face. Okay, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take someone for this. One, two, three. Thank you. One for me. Sorry, don't forget me. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Good job. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for coming. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do.
I ran, I guess, 30 years and it's all longer. Her parents were my campaign coordinator.
Oh, really?
I
didn't know that.
right, our DA's office, item 6.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm Kelly McCormick, Hidalgo County Assistant Criminal District Attorney assigned to the Board of Prosecution Unit. About 8 years ago, the Texas Legislature authorized funding for local district attorneys' offices along the Texas-Mexico border to assist those jurisdictions in handling the prosecution of border crimes. As a result of those funds, here in Hidalgo County, our district attorney's office has been able to now currently employ 3 full-time assistant criminal district attorneys to assist law enforcement in the investigation and in the ultimate prosecution of border crime cases that have affected not only Hidalgo County, but all across the border region. I'm here today to present item 6A to the court. It is entitled Hidalgo County DA's Office, Region 3, Border Prosecution Unit Grant, Fund 1281. Approval to submit a BPU grant number 2537807 budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor of the State of Texas. We were very fortunate this last legislative session, thanks to some foresight by some of our local representatives and senators, primarily Senator Hinojosa and Representative Longoria. We were actually able to get a budget increase. And with those funds here in Hidalgo County, we're going to be looking at hiring a Border Prosecution Unit investigator and a Border Prosecution Unit administrative assistant to assist the DA's office even further in the handling of these cases and assist in the courtrooms here in Hidalgo County. So,
Motion to approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
thank y'all very much. Y'all have a great morning.
Thank you, sir. At this next item, item number 7, Constable Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Deputy Alonso with Constable Cantu's office. In reference to rifle-resistant body armor, Grant 1284, requesting approval of the resolution in support of the rifle-resistant body armor grant program application.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to be recessing our Commissioners Court meeting and convening our Hidalgo County Commissioners Court workshop posted for today, September the 12th at 10:30 a.m. The entire court being present, we have a quorum for the workshop. This time, we're going to be recessing the workshop and reconvening our Commissioners Court meeting. Item number 8, Constable Precinct 4.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Constable Precinct 4, Rifle-Resistant Body Armor Grant 1284, requesting approval of resolution in support of the Rifle-Resistant Body Armor Grant. Program application is approved by Commissioners Court on 8/29/2017 through A161-304.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
That's all I've got, Judge. Thank you. Commissioner.
Item 9, our Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Joel Rivera, Division Chief, on behalf of Sheriff Eddie Guerra.
Morning, sir.
Agenda item A, approval of Sheriff Constable fee schedule for fiscal year 2018.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B1, approval of authorization for the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office to continue participation in the Texas 1033 surplus property program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign the required documents.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
C, authorization and approval of a state administrative agency extension request in reference to Operation Stone Garden fiscal year 2015 and authorization of the county judge and authorized official to sign any required documents.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
D, Operation Stone Garden authorization and approval to deobligate $1,127.47 of Constable Precinct 2 Operation Stone Garden fiscal year 2015 equipment funds and allocate to Sheriff's Office personnel funds.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
E1, authorization and approval of memorandum of agreement between Texas Tropical Behavioral Health and the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office to enter into and to establish a mental health and opioid use disorder peer support reentry program to ensure inmates with a mental illness and or substance use disorder successfully transition from the county jail into clinically appropriate community-based care.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
E2, authorization of Hidalgo County Sheriff to sign agreement.
Motion approved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
F, Sheriff's Office rifle-resistant body armor grant, requesting approval of the excuse me, resolution in support of the rifle-resistant body armor grant program application as approved by Commissioners Court on 8/22/17, agenda item 61122.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 10, Mr. Guerra.
Skip it, Judge. Absent. He walked outside.
But don't go back to it.
We will come back to it. Item 11, Urban County. I thought I saw Ms. Edna here. There she is.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Jan.
I was out there talking to Mayor from Westlaco, so I apologize.
Don't blame Precinct 1, please.
I wasn't blaming Precinct 1. I was blaming the mayor from Westlaco. But we've got 3 items on the agenda this week, and our very first item is a project for the Penitas Drain. So, subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, when and if applicable, the Urban County Program on behalf of Precinct 3 is requesting consideration and action to award and enter into construction contract with Science Brothers Construction in the amount of $952,250 for this Texas General Land Office Round 2 project. It is referred to as the Penitas Drain Phase 1. And we are recommending approval, subject to final review by our attorney.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, requesting consideration and action to award and enter into construction contract with NM Contracting LLC in the amount of $604,100 using the 2016 City of Donna Fire Station Equipment Funds and also utilizing the City of Donna General Funds for this project.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Our third item is subject to House Bill 1295 compliance. Urban County Program on behalf of the City of Alum was requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for professional engineering services with Quintanilla Headley and Associates in the amount of $39,480 utilizing their year 2016 water and sewer improvement funds.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of the work authorization number 1 for Quintanilla Headley and Associates in the amount of $39,480.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 12, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health Human
Morning,
Services. Item 12A, sir, requesting approval of the memorandum of agreement between Hidalgo County and Northern Illinois University. The aim of the agreement is to establish an exchange of information for cooperative research between institutions in the field of notifiable conditions, sir. This has gone through legal counsel and has been approved.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Sir, item B and item C, sir, there is no action or discussion unless you have any questions on any of those 2 items, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
Eddie, just to elaborate on the emergency response for Hurricane Harvey. Congratulations to you and your staff for all that you did during that time as well.
Sir, thank you, sir. I have to acknowledge the leadership of Chief Saldana and the county judge's office and each of the commissioners. I mean, it was tremendous work. It's interesting because people ask me about it, and our role was very humbling. We were providing public health support to our county staff and city staff. And I've never seen people work so physically hard as I saw there, sir. And it's just emotionally hard to see those people working that difficult, but you would see the residents of that community. It was just devastating beyond belief, sir. But thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. Item 13, Facilities Management.
This is requesting approval for payment of a claim for the following with authority for the processing to be done. This is vendor air gas. The invoice is on the agenda, and it's dated from 2015, $166.97.
Is that old? Over 2 years old?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Item 14, our Community Service Agency.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Jaime Longoria with Community Service Agency. Item 14A is discussion, consideration, and action to adopt the Executive Director's evaluation. The word plan was left off. Evaluation plan in accordance to the Community Services Block Grant organizational standards. We're required, Judge and Commissioners, by federal law to have a plan for the evaluation, for you all's evaluation of the Executive Director's performance. What I've submitted to the Valdez office, to the Administrator's office, is a plan that actually delineates that process, and that is that you all, in working with Mr. Valdeguerra's office, will evaluate me periodically twice a year, and that'll pretty much suffice. And that's really what the plan calls for: is what is the process that Hidalgo County uses to evaluate the Executive Director. So I've been working with Valde on this particular plan.
And Judge, Commissioners, this falls in line with the evaluation plan that we have in place and been working with and been talking to the departments in general. And so, with respect to the directors and the department heads, it's twice a year, semi-annual, every 6 months. Obviously, as an update, a briefing, address any issues of concern, and then the annual evaluation. So it does fall in line with what we're working on.
We'll need a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14B, discussion, consideration, and action to adopt the Executive Director's succession plan in accordance with the Community Services Block Grant organizational standards. Once again, Judge, Commissioners, the organizational standards require that you all have a plan for both an interim succession as well as a permanent succession. Should the Executive Director leave on a short-term basis for whatever reason, or leave permanently. So the plan actually calls for you to get working with Valde's office to actually work on an interim appointment, and then finally work on a permanent replacement if indeed that is required.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 14C, Judge, Commissioners, it's discussion, consideration, and authorization for the Community Service Agency to apply for the 2018-2019 Texas Veterans Commission grant, a general assistance grant. We want to call it Operation Bravo Zulu. The deadline is October 26th.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Jaime.
Judge, I apologize. I was.
All right. Let's move back then to your item number 10.
Item 10A1, there is no update this week. Item 10A2, we did emergency situations occurring since last agenda meeting. We did have an issue of concern, or we did have an issue this morning that was addressed. Mr. Daniel Flores from our facilities management was at the scene. We had an issue with one of our facilities in Westlaco. Is that correct, Daniel?
No, the SAT actually.
I'm sorry, the boot camp, the substance abuse. there was an issue with a possible gas leak. It was immediately addressed, and the situation has been addressed. Item 10B, there is a request for approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley and the County of Hidalgo. The purpose of the agreement is to provide an educational research program experience with respect to archaeology to UT RGV students and the Hidalgo County Pauper Cemetery. Judge Commissioners, this is an issue that we've been working on for quite some time. Mr. Flores from Facilities Management has been intimately involved in this process. And I am asking the court to approve this interlocal cooperation agreement with the university and the county with respect to working with the students and our county pauper cemetery. So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10C, I'm asking the court to accept a settlement check from Farmers Insurance Company in the amount of $1,146.52, and this will settle an auto claim with one of our county vehicles. So moved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And 10D is for our under our right-of-way. I'm requesting approval of an open cut to install a 12-inch irrigation pipe located at Goodman Road in Mission, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Our budget office.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 16A is discussion, consideration, and approval of revisions to Hidalgo County's travel policy, guidelines, and procedures. Judge, Commissioners, we're requesting to change Section 16, requesting to increase the lodging rate from $138 per night to $158. We've done a review of the state contracts, especially for Austin, Dallas, and Houston. 158 seems to be the going rate for the state contract, so we're just requesting to increase that to that level.
Motion approved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 16B is approval of 2017 interdepartmental transfer from Road and Bridge countywide to Precinct 1 road maintenance in the amount of $88,374.74.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 16C is approval of 2017 interdepartmental transfer from countywide administration to Precinct 1 parks in the amount of $7,500.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 16D is approval of 2017 interdepartmental transfer from countywide administration to Precinct 1 sanitation in the amount of $40,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 16E is approval of 2017 interfund transfer from countywide administration to Precinct 1 admin and road maintenance programs 4 and 5 in the total amount of $113,699.26.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 16F is approval of 2017 interdepartmental transfer from countywide administration to the 5th Administrative Judicial Region in the amount of $13,884.49.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item 16G is approval of 2017 interdepartmental transfer from countywide administration to other public defense in the amount of $65,000.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item 16H is approval of 2017 interdepartmental transfer from countywide administration to jail room board in the amount of $1 million.
Move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
Item 17, Purchasing Department, 17A, pursuant to the Texas Constitution, Article 3, Section 52. The Honorable Renee Rodriguez Benton Court is requesting declaration of public purpose, which will allow her to purchase items when she goes to her speaking engagements and or other public awareness that she does at functions, ceremonies, and school day years.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B1 is requesting authority to purchase 2017 John Deere 310L from Doggett Machinery, awarded vendor through Byboard's contract. The amount of $75,000 for Commissioner Precinct 1 through requisition 349103 upon the 1295 compliance, if necessary.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 2 is requesting approval of the First Amendment to the interlocal agreement with Cameron County, resulting in paragraph 9 to state reconstruction.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C1, Precinct 3, presentation of the sole responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, Los Ebanos Land and Cattle Company, LLC, meeting all specifications and requirements. This is for lease of land approximately 5 acres west of FM 886, vicinity of Cuevitas.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On countywide, D1, presentation of sole responsible vendor, Upper Valley Mail Services, submitting the lowest and best bid. This is for mailing services for Hidalgo County.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is recommending to award to the primary and secondary vendors submitting the lowest and best bids. Primary would be Arguindegui Oil Company 2 Limited. Secondary would be RGV Pump and Equipment, including approval of the contracts, and subject to approval on the secondary vendor submitting their insurance requirements before executing the contract.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Whose birthday is it, Judge? Whose birthday is today? It's short. 6 pages. 17.
La quinceañera.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday to Yolanda Chapa.
54.
All right, under open forum, we have 2 presenters. The first presenter is Fern McClarity.
She's not here right now, so we'll have to pass it.
All right, next presenter is Esteban Lopez.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Steve Lopez, Esteban Lopez. I'm with the Cámara de Comercio, the newly formed Cámara de Comercio Internacional, CAMCOIN. We're the International Chamber of Commerce. We're made up of primarily international businessmen from all different parts of Hidalgo County. We're already at 275 members strong. We started out this year. On Friday, we will be celebrating a Grito de Independencia. And we'd like to extend out an invitation to each and every one of you there. It'll be at 6 p.m. at Banworth Park, otherwise known as Parque de los Patos. That's what all our members know it as. And it's there next to Sherryland ISD. And we're going to have music, some singing, some dancing, lots of good Mexican food, and we'll be doing the official Grito de Independencia. Again, September the 15th is the first day of the Hispanic Heritage Month. So this is the reason why it starts on September the 15th. And we just like to let you guys know who we are, what we're about. We are working very hard to help a lot of Mexican immigrant businessmen start their businesses here in the United States. Worked already for about 2 years, teaching them how to become involved in the community, how to organize, we have a lot of immigration attorneys that are helping them, a lot of them through a legal process, and also we're getting involved with the city, state, and getting involved politically. You will be hearing us soon. A lot of events that we got coming on. We have an immigration seminar roundtable that we're going to be doing with a bunch of our immigration attorneys. You'll be seeing that pretty soon. But we'd like to introduce ourselves, and we'd like to for you guys to support us in any way you can.
Thanks. Very well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. The one final matter. And I know we got a letter from the Texas Indigent Commission congratulating us for some of the work that we have been doing. Can you go ahead and just read the letter?
Yes, I have a copy of the letter here. It was addressed to the Honorable Ramon Garcia, and it's about the completion of the Texas Indigent Defense Commission monitoring review. This letter is to inform you that the Texas Indigent Defense Commission passed a motion at its August 24, 2017 meeting to close its policy monitoring review of Hidalgo County's indigent defense practices. The entire commission and its staff congratulate the Hidalgo County Judiciary, Commissioners Court, and various other criminal justice stakeholders, including the Indigent Defense Services Department and the Public Defender's Office, for their efforts toward improving these reports. Since 2009, the Hidalgo County Judiciary struggled with the requirement to ensure a fair, neutral, and non-discriminatory distribution of attorney appointments. So this led the Commission to request the regular updates of appointment data. And according to them, they say, "We are encouraged by recent data reports. In particular, from the beginning of this calendar year until early August, distributions of appointments to attorney wheels fell within the legal threshold for presuming a fair, neutral, and non-discriminatory appointment system. We've also seen that the public defender has been regularly utilized in juvenile cases. These developments should help ensure quality representation and stabilize expected expenses." Please feel free, well, I'll skip that part, but congratulations on your successful efforts to improve the delivery of indigent defense services in Hidalgo County. Good job, everyone.
Thank you.
Paid by.
There being no need for an executive session, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. We will now be reconvening our county workshop, budget workshop.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. We'll try to keep this workshop as brief as possible. Judge, Commissioners, I just wanted to give you all a recap as to where we were after last week's presentation. Again, on page 1, we do, again, have a proposed to the court a balanced budget. Basically, the budget for 2018 would be $200,700,595. We did go back. We did reduce the, on page 2, we did reduce the number of epidemiologists to 1, the assistant to 1 as well, to be able to bring back this budget back in line. We did approve the covering the employees' health insurance premium increases 100%. So there should be no increase to the employees' premiums, out-of-pocket premiums. So we should have that covered within the adopted budget. And then we do have on page 3 again the road and bridge allocations. We did go and increase the transfer out to road and bridge by the amount of funds needed to cover the increases in health insurance and retirement for road and bridge employees. So as far as net operating budget for the precinct should remain the same as 2017. Judge, Commissioner, I don't know if y'all have any questions or any comments on the information that we have.
The employees for the DPS are going to be left alone, right, Valde?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to bring up one thing, Ms. Marty. We currently have, I've been working with Sergio's office. We currently have an agreement or an arrangement for an outside housekeeping duty, correct?
Yes, and we just awarded one last week.
Okay, but
it only includes the administration.
okay, is there any way to amend the agreement to include other than the administration building?
No.
Because that's not the way it was procured?
No, because yes.
Okay, I bring it up for a reason.
The facilities always did it as a pilot, and they've done it for 2 years. When we sent the specs this year, they changed absolutely nothing. They did not ask for the ability to get a square footage price for additional buildings, as we would do with other things.
Right.
So I don't see that there is any unless we put it out again.
Okay, so with that being said, and again, I've been working with Sergio, and he was able to figure out, or we were able to figure out, we have a custodian for facilities, but in working with Commissioner Precinct 4's office and the additional facilities that have been created, Judge, Commissioners, I guess what I'm saying is that just for disclosure purposes, I'm going to work with Sergio's office to see if we can, if at all possible, be able to get one more custodian. I was hoping that the agreement that we had would allow.
We looked into it.
Okay, so it did not
It
after
came to
all.
my attention when I
Right.
first saw it on the agenda, discussed it fully with the staff, but no, it does not.
Does not allow.
Yes. When we entered into the agreement, when we went to procure the services, we were only looking at the administration as a pilot.
Right.
So we made it building specific. Again, we had looked at possibly expanding it further, but when we did the renewals, we just kept it within the administration building.
And just as a quick update, it's working. It works. And so I'll guess we'll work on expanding that for down the road. But
Judge, Commissioners, if the request is to include another custodian in addition to what's already on the proposed schedule, then we would recommend that we would reduce the increase to contingency by the respective amount.
okay, I'm going to ask the court to please consider that because we do have the expansion of the facilities, and that will allow for a greater range of rotation to cover the facilities because we are expanding. I have the same issue in Precinct 1. I have the same issue in Precinct 2 and 3. And so, but as of late, we expanded by the CRC. In Precinct 4, we have the issue up the road with the
Emergency Services Facility.
Exactly. And so then I will ask
I
the court to
believe
consider.
since we've also added the constable building, although it's been
That's right.
existing for 1 year, we did not provide facilities management any additional staff last year.
So I'm going to ask the court if we could, as direction to Sergio for an additional custodian.
Yes, I don't know. I'm okay with it.
Then we'll make those changes for the proposed budget. We will be filing the proposed budget next week and have it available for inspection both online and at the county clerk's office. And then we'll have the adoption of the budget and the setting of the tax rate on September 26th.
Sergio, just a
Yes.
question, and this is after a few meetings that I had with some of the, at least purchasing. They were requesting a procurement systems analyst, and I know I had some dialogue with Marty as well. Can you
Right.
shed light a little bit on
Yes. Well, this is now that we've had the inclusion of Ms. Dina Trevino, which is being groomed, in the event that my plan is to retire, believe it or not, one of these days. And just like Mr. Longoria was alluding to, I think we do need to have that backup for any of our departments. As much as I love what I do, she's come in, things that I haven't been able to address, she is now addressing because the baton is going to be, it's going to go forward. And so we are asking, and we did delete a position in the spirit of teamwork. We are not asking for a title change as to what's proposed. We're just asking for a few more requirements that would require less than $10,000 increase in the base that we're looking for. I think that'll go a long way in perhaps not requiring an outlay of a lot of off-the-shelf softwares and stuff that we have already demoed and haven't found. We just think it would be more effective that way, and we certainly would ask the court to consider that a small adjustment. I think it's.
I'm in support of it. I just wanted to state it for the record. To see
I think
if we
for the
could update
future,
it.
it's what we need. The purchasing function has become so enormous, and the stresses would be a lot less did we have some more analysis as to all of the things we could do to reduce, make us, work smarter, not harder, including which budget has been very responsive to. We're going to try to go paperless, which is an investment that, whose time has come. And that's going to reduce some of our costs. So we are being very mindful of the budget, and I think this is going to be eye-opening for all the departments when we go paperless. And they have worked with us. Mr.
Mr. Guerra has listened to our pleas. This is something that's coming in phases. We also accepted it that way, but on this, we were asking for that
I'd like that you
adjustment.
deleted a position.
We
for
did
it, so
delete
it's
a
just-
position.
Yes, Judge Commissioner, we did, they didn't delete a position. We did grant an increase of roughly about $9,000 to that position to create the procurement analyst. Again, if we do that system analysis was requested, that'll require an additional roughly about $7,000. So it's roughly going to be an increase of roughly about $17,000 from what's being deleted to what's being created.
Yeah.
Which
And I
is what
understand
we
it.
took into account when we looked at as far as giving the recommendation to the court. We felt that the increase that was being provided was already significant. So, but yes, it's up to the court as far as.
I like that they'll
the
have
recommendation.
coding ability, so it allows them to be more self-sufficient
And
as
we may not
opposed.
find it, but we need to attract it, Commissioner.
Now, is it going to be an IT position, or will it be?
No, it still will be a program, procurement
I know
analyst.
IT has two programmers.
Correct, but in the time I've been in purchasing, and of course, IT wasn't created, they are so overwhelmed. We cannot possibly have someone, I know they can't dedicate someone just to us. We've tried it before. For years, we've tried.
We'll have to figure something out because this is something that we have gotten away from, which was
I understand.
having many ITs,
Within
many
departments.
HRs,
But that's not
many
going to be
budget
their only
offices.
function.
I'm sorry?
That's not going to be their only function. I think that if we add that feature, we'll attract somebody who we're going to get two things. We're going to get much broader that IT doesn't cover for purchasing. I need to support those who are going to come after me. And I think purchasing has not been at the brink of IT and all of its, abilities to make us more efficient. So I think it's a good investment.
Let's try it out.
I have not come here before
That's
to
the wish of
ask.
the court, we could do that.
You okay with it?
And we'll make that change then from the procurement analyst to what was requested, which was a procurement systems analyst at a budgeted salary of $60,000. And we'll have that included in next week's proposed budget.
I thought it was 62.
Yeah.
The request that we had was $60,000. I'm not sure if that's changed since
62.
the original amount.
In the step and grade line, yes.
I'm not sure that we had that identified within the step and grade, but if that's the step and grade, I'll visit with HR. That's the salary, then we'll propose that salary.
Judge, to get off, you remember an old schoolmate, Imelda Munoz.
Yeah.
Today's her birthday, too. We're all in the same basket.
How is she doing?
She does great. She just wasn't traveling. And you're going to...
Good. Say hello to her for me when you see
And
her.
I just said birthday wishes to Ernest. Ernest's birthday was the 9th. So
Dr. Guerra?
it's just a number. Just a number. Right, Yolanda?
Yeah.
Judge, Commissioners, we'll make those two changes, personnel changes, adjust the contingency account by the respective amount, and then we'll have that filed next week with the county clerk's office for inspection by the public and online. And that's all the information that I have.
This is the last budget meeting.
Yeah, unless
Budget
we
workshop.
can schedule one for next week if the court wants to have one, but
When do you file the budget?
we're going to file the proposed budget on Wednesday morning.
Okay, once we file, and I'm sure everybody knows, that once we file the budget at the county clerk's office and the county auditor's office, that is the proposed budget that's going to be viewed by the general public. Any changes can only be made at the adoption of the budget. Thereafter, under statute, it would have to qualify under changes that statute allows would be the ensuing year, January 1st of next year. So if we schedule it may not be a bad idea just to schedule a workshop for Tuesday. Just out of abundance of caution, and if there's no need to have it, we can just cancel it.
Okay. Put it on, and if we don't need it, you call it. So DPS has nothing to worry about.
No, sir.
You're in.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you. Need a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.